Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Kimberly Cloud Show. I'm your host, Kimberly Cloud. So, I have a lot to talk about today. I tried to open up two more browsers, Restream and Kick, but I couldn't. Um, Before I even noticed that it happened, I talked a little smack to StreamYard. And then I go on StreamYard and they like open the orientation box. I'm like, what is an orientation? So I'm like, I got 10 channels now. 10. I have 12 in all, but I got 10 that I can open at one time. They caught on. They actually gave me the catchy okie doke. They caught on that I was going on opening browsers. Remember I told y'all. So they changed it. So I'm not going to say what I said on YouNow or TikTok, but they probably like give her that many channels. That 10 channels is enough. They're like 10 channels is enough for Miss Kimberly Cloud, veteran, honorable discharge. So yeah. So one thing about the government when they sit up there and mess with you, it's indefinite. They just don't go away. They just don't go away. Like, seriously. Like, I think about it all the time and I said, did the government go away? Yes or no? It's no way they're going away from a veteran, you know. And the only reason I say that is because basically, I just feel like they don't go away, the government. So, I have my reasons. Maybe God don't want me to tell them right now, you know. Sometimes, I feel like if I can't say what I've said previously or recap about it, it's not meant to say. So this morning, or should I say afternoon, or not midday, but afternoon, we are going to talk about Monday's agenda plan. I was on X. I was on You Now. No, I was on X. Yeah, I was just on X. I tried to get on You Now, it wasn't working. And I was on Facebook. But I was on X in the car in the morning, but I didn't want to do nothing else. So I had to figure out a way and make a pre-business plan for my business. And I had to make some phone calls and make some moves, chess moves, checkers moves. I just hope and to be honest, I studied it, but I haven't studied it enough to know if I'm going to win or not. So I hope that it it helps. Like, I can't talk about everything that's going on, but the reason why is because I don't want to say too much and then people go off calling these businesses and ruining my name or ruining it for me. And because I'm wholeheartedly, that's why we need not only a lie detector test for the civilian public, but like some sort of detector that can detect the truth coming from somebody, because it's like I want people to know that I am honest. I am honest. And sometimes people don't believe it or they don't want to believe it. I don't know. And so I just wish that I had a happy time or happy ending, because every time that's my concern. And I but I did my thorough research, and I have some positives. I'm still in an apartment. I get along with my neighbors. I get along with my the people at the rental office. That's a positive, right? For Monday's agenda. If it wasn't for Hispanic women and men, I wouldn't have a couch. If it wasn't, but I have, like, what I paid for the couch, but they were Hispanic. I supported their small business. And I'm thinking about the positives, you guys, because I'm like, if if I did not have the positives, maybe this is going to be positive. Sometimes I paint pictures where I want it to be XYZ, well, A through Z, and plus some more new letters of the alphabet. So I paint a picture like that. And then I go off, and then it may, A and B may get out of it. And then it throws me off. So I just want to do the right things. I'm looking at the positives. And I have a Mercedes, yes, banged up, but I have it. Um, I I did everything myself, and I got what I wanted. It wasn't from A to Z with the Mercedes, so it looked like A to Z, but it was an extra option. But hey, it's doable for now. And that is what I do. I make impulsive moves, but this is a move I waited on. I could have sat up there. I all For 5 years I've been making investments for more visibility. But I've gotten some. I don't blame the news. I've gotten some visibility, but I never gotten made an investment like in my cleaning business. And when I tried, things happened that were out of my control. I never looked up the business coverall. I never looked up the business Jam Pro at the Better Business Bureau. I guarantee they probably got a C or a D. And I put my school money towards investments, just like every other veteran does. varsity Varsity Tutors is so funny, y'all. But I put my money towards investments, and that's all I want to do is invest in something small. Like, you invest in something for like $25, and then you gain 75% of that $25 you've invested in. It doesn't happen like that. But I can reasonably, I would get away with between 58 to 68%. I'll be comfortable with that. But in the fairy tale world, it would be 75% I get back. And that's how I feel. That's what I want to do. I just want to live, you know, above and be responsible like I know I was built to be, and fair. So investing in a future, if it work, I put it to you like this. If it works for me and everything works out for me, I'll start saying the company name. If it doesn't work out, I won't even mention the company. I won't even talk about it. That's plan B. Like I said, I plan from A beyond the letters. But in another dimension, somewhere, maybe it doesn't. You know, um, if it doesn't, then I won't even mention the company because I will feel pity for the company and say that it's a reputable company. And maybe it's not the company. So I don't want to blame the company or the staff. So um, but with investing, that is something that I want to do. And I think that it's doable for all of us if we're spending money on Burger King, McDonald's, Red Robin, and Barnes and Nobles, and all of these companies, to spend at least 3 to 11% into investments. It takes nothing, no credit check. Only thing you don't have to be is a brokerage personnel and been in the business knowing banking. And you can open up a free account. It takes nothing. You buy that popsicle or you buy that, you know, Red Robin or Wingstop or Pizza Hut or, whatever. You can sit up there and invest in cryptocurrency and um whatever. And if you're not doing it, if you have no hope for yourself, do it for your children. And I hate to say it, some people, have it good with their children and still neglect them. That is the only thing I can honestly say that I envy in a good way. I envy the fact that some parents have it good with their children and like they I would want my position to be that so that I can prove that I could be a good parent. So that's the only reason why I envy. Not because I want to be in your situations, but I want to be in your situation, but, you know, sit up there and do something productive like talk to my child. I have that one-on-one action with my child. I teach my child. I have fun with my child, you know, and I just, you know, had to say that. It was meant for me to say that, but I back to investments though, you know, productively you can be doing a lot. There are funds you can get into for $250 where you invest that amount with a 0.04 or 4 point something or 3.5 something, and you invest your money and it doubles in like a year, or it kind of like goes up a little bit, you know. Who wouldn't? If you want to maximize your investments, why not sit up there and maximize your investments while investing in something that is productive and ongoing, that can double your money, whether it be $50 or $100. You still getting money in your pocket, so that is a productive investment if you set it and forget it. If you sit up there and want to get your nails done, get your hair did, at least have some money to set aside, you know, for investment. That's all I'm asking. I know some of you have it in you. You know what they've been saying lately? The NASDAQ said that they're scared because people have been coming into stocks that usually don't go. That was this year. That was a magazine I read for this year. So I'm spreading the love and the knowledge. Don't do something stupid like want what someone else have. That's stealing. No. How should I tell you? No or no or no. How do you want it? So any reviews, I am so proud that I haven't gotten any negative reviews. They could have easily, I wasn't on the Google, but I was on Better Business Bureau, and I was temporarily on the Better Business Bureau, and I was temporarily on Yelp. But that was the old Kimberly Cloud, not the old Kimberly Cloud, the old Blue Cloud cleaning company. Now it's Blue Cloud Cleaning 2.0 LLC, which I forgot about the 2.0 part, but I'm going, hopefully I can dissolve this or rechange it. Maybe because I don't want to copy. I'm not a copier, but I will say that I would rather go the or Blue Cloud Cleaning 10.0 or 12.0, like, or Googleplex. Or no number needed because it's way off the metric system, like LLC, you know. I don't want to just start at 2.0. So, I never got a bad review. I never got a bad review. And I've cleaned some toilets, man. I've cleaned some toilets myself. Um, I've cleaned some very bad places. Not bad places, but bad as in, by myself. It was a lot of work, a lot of work, strenuous for. That's why I would never dip into residential unless my pockets allowed for a little extra residual cash, because you sit up there and you go to residual, not residual, but residential, and they sit up there and some people get taken advantage of. You can't make a living off of that unless you're doing multiple. You couldn't make a living, because then what if they want one section done? They want the whole place done and they don't want to pay you. They got the money to pay you, but they don't want to pay you everything. So you have to be smart and get contracts. So I'm pretty sure what's going to happen with me is when I do get a contract, what I may do is call LegalZoom to see. LegalZoom done gotten so crazy, like with their prices. They hyped it up. I've been going to LegalZoom for 4 years. I want to call them. So pretty much I want to make sure when I call them I have a contract. Now I don't know if ADP or LegalZoom can do a contract agreement, or I look up contracts myself between me and the actual person that will be coming to me to do the actual um want the actual work. So I say I should invest, like seriously. I would tell you that's what's to come, pros and cons. So like I can sit up there and take whatever I have, which isn't much. It isn't much. I can take what I have and sit on it. Let's just say I sit on it. It's just going to dissolve. It's not enough to sit up there and reinvest in something huger, huge, hugely appreciated, and more productive than what I'm already in. And that's what I want to do. I want to continue to invest. And I'll give y'all something, I looked up Why Unified on the Better Business Bureau. They got an F. I looked up other companies and I still made investments, bad investments based on the adrenaline pumping through my blood. But I think I made a good decision this time based on my research. So here are the pros. Get a new page and have more visibility. That's what they're going to do for me. Google Ads visibility, leads exclusive leads, more income in like 3 months. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. I want to make sure that I get for the future at least 3 to 6 employees with one supervisor. 3 to 6 employees with one supervisor, or 3 to 5 employees with one supervisor. So when I leave, they'll all report to a temp agency, which is going to help support the rotation if they decide. It will never be personal. At first, it's going to be personal and it's going to be like that. But then it's never going to be. Same with the inmates, the ex-cons. It's never going to, by the time I start adding felons that sat up there and want a second chance felons that are, you know, in a bad situation but need a job to make a career out of, because society has done made the laws. I mean, it is the law. you know they'll sit up there and be able to have a second chance. And that's By the time that happens, like, it's going to be through an agency. They're barely going to get to see me. That's for my protection. So if you mess up, if you mess up because, two times messing up, I'm like, okay, what is your story, brother? I want to know, or sister. But three times messing up, I'm like, okay, no. One time messing up, I'm like, okay, I understand we all make mistakes. Some people don't even get caught for their mistakes their whole lives. So that's why I want to do it that way. And I know there's people out there like me that made a mistake and have a story to tell. And that's why I want to build the Kimberly Cloud Show based on not just the Kimberly Cloud Show. I got to get used to saying Blue Cloud Cleaning 2.0 LLC. I want to build a solid foundation and reputation. And that is why, I should have something coming in. Now, let's say plan B happens. I invest and it doesn't happen. I still can replenish. So I'm not, I'm just molding some clay right now and playing a game of chess with checkers, with cards, trying to see what I can, you know, build, not get, because get sounds so crazy. What I can build with teamwork. What's gonna work? Teamwork. So yeah. So cons. This what I'm getting into is just like high risk stocks. You can lose your investment. Two, I mean, that's self-explanatory, y'all. It's just like high risk stocks. Some stocks you can't even get in unless you gross more than 100,000, and you got to sign up for it and know that if you take that gamble by putting at least 10,000 at the least down, you'll sit up there and lose it. You're okay with losing it if it happens that you lose it. Now, the good thing about tripolar cryptocurrency is that cryptocurrency, it goes like up by points, like seriously up. It goes up high. And it has to be tradable cryptocurrency. Non-tradable, I don't know why they developed something for non-tradable. Maybe you want to get in for the non, but not tradable cryptocurrency. That's just FYI. So someone can bribe or use my voice to cause them to mistreat me. Like, it's to happen before. Let me explain myself if y'all out there watching. So I had a book company. I forgot the two book companies. Look me up. Life of a Cloud, a short story you will remember. Life of a Cloud, a short story by Kimberly Cloud. Like, they both, it all started out such a sweet uh, symphony of a conversation and collaboration. And then it turned sour. And that's just one of many things. One of many things. If you know me and you're out there and you know me, you know I'm not lying. And that's why I said I hate that I can't show or prove I'm not lying. I can care less about another person having to deal with a lie. I care about my lies and how many lies I retain daily. I keep it to a minimum. as Trump do his cabinet. Let's see. My voice could be used. I was able to use my voice to create a new voice recognition. Basically, not just the recognition, but they recognized my voice and therefore created a cloned copy of my voice. And people call and extract money, or they call and they cause, problems within those companies, or they clone. I don't know if you can clone an email. I'm pretty sure the government can do it, but yeah, it can go south as well as as just as fast as it went north, and that's my worries. All I want is a fair shot at this. Those are my worries because of, when you just hear me for a second. When you've been through so much negative stuff, you tend to think more about plan B with negative stuff than you do about plan A with positive stuff. So in case something negative happened, you are prepared. And I'm showing y'all how I think. It has nothing to do with wanting it to happen. It has everything with doing with preventative measures to keep it from happening. This was done yesterday before I got for the third time to talk to the wonderful, wonderful, wonderful personnel. They're wonderful. They're exceptional. I mean, I can mention their names, but they're wonderful. They're exceptional. They're productive. They're straightforward, and they're to the point. They're impactful. They're precise. They're positively aggressive. So my fourth one is I could get taken advantage of, but I don't think that's going to happen. As usual, I always give people the benefit of the doubt when coming into something positive. And that's my personality, whether or not it's on the other end. I don't know. I'm no psychic. I'm not a psychic medium. She sounded polite. She sounded intelligent. She sounded to the point. So now I want to talk about how I will work my way around this. If I lose my investment, just reroute my investment for maximum potential. That's number one. I won't get into detail, but I will say that that's what I would do. I may shave a couple of months off of my investment, but it is going towards something positive, and it's an investment. It's not like, authority figures like Authority Titans and places like NBC and ABC and CBS. They do give you exposure, and I'll admit they have given me exposure, but this exposure is an agency built towards helping put make visibility along with production of revenue while they get what they get, but they're doing it because they're doing their job, and they appreciate their company values and visions and missions statements. They've been in the company and in the business for a while. And they do what I feel I do. I do my job. I do or does my job. Ebonics, everybody else, I does my job. And, sometimes, it's not, it doesn't always work out, but I still per, you know, just move forward. Like, if I start to feel mistreated or express without emotion how I feel, I have to work on that. That is something I have to work on. Excuse me. So basically, if let's say it does happen, I have to, it's one thing people that are stars and politicians have that we don't have, you know. They are able to control conversations. They are able to control conversations, and not in an aggressive way, but a tactful, um, stern way, without being disrespectful. I don't ever want to be disrespectful to no one. And so, but I don't try to navigate conversations unless I'm talking business. And this is business. So, um, I don't want to get on someone's bad side. So what I would do and how I would approach it would be to listen to the concerns of the company. The company is always pushing out, just like God is always pushing out stuff, and no one, everybody prays, but no one pray for God. The business is pushing out so much. I want to know their concerns. I want to learn about the business. If it got to the degree that I couldn't do that, or no one's picking up or navigating, or I doubt if that happens. Because, like I said, great, excellent reviews. Contact the Better Business Bureau. That's with anybody's problem. I'm telling y'all the steps that you can take as productive citizens when you have an issue with a business. This has nothing to do with saying their business sucks. This is for everyone to know. If you have an issue, sit up there and contact the Better Business Bureau. Sometimes you don't get your stuff navigated, but sometimes you do. Next step up, Federal Trade Commission for deceptive practices. They investigate federally, which I think they're closed. State Attorney General, Consumer Protection Agency. They enforce stuff. All of these places are enforcers. But one thing that tickles me is, even though that it's a government ran government, why can't the government be on the Better Business Bureau? Because their chain of command, is totally different. And you don't always get the message, like, depending on who have your defense team on your football team, you may not get the message. I hope I said that right. I don't know nothing about football. Don't laugh at me. So, but y'all felt what I was saying. Work around these and then only apply the solutions that have not worked. Document your finances, all of them, and everything that they do for you. That's anybody. Because had I've lost a lot of money just as well as I've gained money. And if you don't document what goes on, For the future, you may lose that object, item, or service. And then what you're going to do? My thoughts. All I really want is this to work. Every every time I predict my life, something somewhere comes in and sabotage. Like something somewhere comes in and sabotage it. I can tell y'all another story. I have like thousands of stories. I had got an apartment from Salt Lake City, Utah. I was in Salt Lake City, Utah. I got an apartment, and somebody kept messing with my garage. And all of a sudden, I tried to seek help from the rental office, and the girl that was working there wasn't working there no more. It was somebody totally different. Every time I go somewhere, staff switches out. That's a FBI move. Somewhat. I noticed that pattern immediately about my or somebody it's weird, man. It's weird. I can think of so many things, how the staff of my apartment, the staff of my old apartment, the staff of my other old apartment, like, or times. And it's not, some people are thinking, oh, it's about, it being a lady. No, there's been ladies that switched out as ladies, you know, and I've grown to get close to the lady prior to her, and that's my thoughts. I want this to work. Every time I predict my life, something somewhere comes and it sabotages it. All I want is sufficient, decent, and more income. Wouldn't you want the same for yourselves? Wouldn't you want the same? Stop thinking about robbing. Do you need no, no, no? I just can feel it through the web. So, wouldn't you want this for yourself? I never until recently worked repeatedly or repeat. I never until recently worked. And what I mean repeat, I mean really work on my behavior. Like seriously. Um, I thought, don't laugh, but I actually thought there was nothing wrong with my behavior. Don't laugh. And so I everybody has a problem with their behavior. And it's a challenge every day to acknowledge when you have a problem with your behavior, and you have to analyze how to work on your behavior, whether on drugs, off drugs, on some type of narcotic someone else gave you, off drugs, like seriously, work on you. How do I work on me? It all starts with writing down the issues, your behaviors. Sometimes I can be too submissive to things. I don't want to name what happened, but it's not what y'all think. Sometimes I'll be too submissive to things, and sometimes overreact. I can't control my behavior sometimes when my heart is racing and adrenaline is pumping. Not to say I would hit somebody, but things come out the wrong way. I would write it down, but I can do that off camera. So, what do you do about that? Listen, internalize, and don't emotionally take it and let it get hold of you. Just like I do my music. So, so I control everything that's going on within my life. I control everything. Everything. I control my rent, which I gotta. Sorry if you watching Kirkland Crossing. Oh God, I said the name of my apartment. That would never happen again. But if you listening, I will pay y'all today. Sorry about that. You know, I take my job of paying rent seriously, and some glitch happened where when I paid, I didn't pay everything. So now I have to pay it. Um, so a classification of people cannot control my rent, electric, water, sewage, car note, internet, etc. However, the government can. I know if anything happens, it's them. It's always seems as though it's in my head and then I'm outreaching myself. Some people think I'm outreaching and I talk too much about the government and that the government is not worried about Kimberly Cloud. You know, I see the vision of what happens when you're downtown with riots and you see the people in the riots yelling at the police officers. But in my regard, I'm submitting information to the FBI and I'm not getting a response. I haven't submitted anything recently, but I've never gotten a response. So to those rioters that be out there, no arrest is a good arrest. It's not a good arrest or is a good arrest. If y'all get what I'm saying. No news is good news. But they know me. You can't say they don't. I even try to get a record of all the times I contacted the FBI. They got a personal file on Kimberly Cloud, Operation Sunshine Warp. So, let's see. Even though it sounds far-fetched, I'm a veteran too. Come on now. They know me. They do got a personal file. They got Kimberly Cloud's Veteran Affairs file, Kimberly Cloud Army file. So you can't say I'm lying. And now, drum roll please, the FBI files of a black girl complaining all the time. So so let's see. The government had played a role in my downfall. It was a time I didn't get paid for 3 months, y'all. And I'm glad because they hurt me, but they helped me and it hurts. Why do you have to hurt me to help me? Because had I had that type of money at a shelter, at a rinky-dink shelter that I was at, I probably would have got robbed. Because every time I tried to go to sleep, it would be like somebody was standing over me. From the way my book was published to me living in public housing through the Veterans Affairs and Lightcast and other publishers taking my hard-earned money, and somewhat lastly, the Trump campaign taking my money. I have no problem with Trump. I have no problem with him, but I got my money back. I got my money back because I've been paying Donald Trump campaign for 4 years. What did I get out of it? I've been homeless, but I've always read it and it always say 100% impact. Did I get? I mean, I got stuff, but let's look at the real things. I stuff like, for instance, uh, COVID happened and the stimulus came and Biden was there. Biden ended student debt. Um, They took my $500 stimulus check. Everybody else got a stimulus check except me. Like, seriously. But like I said, they hurt me, but they helped me. I didn't know I owed anything towards anything. Just like now, um, I owe the state of Maryland. I didn't even know I owed the state of Maryland. But I'm not going to sit up there and they intercepted my check, my school money. They not playing that. After I sat up there and talked about Bernie Sanders, I know they were like, find some dirt on her. Oh, she owes taxes, but I'm gonna make sure it's gonna be nice and paid off by a certain time. No big deal. Everything comes to an end eventually. Everything from payment, whoever created payment knows the way we live. How we live and making payments is totally, and making leases and rental agreements is how our bodies are. They make a payment every month. We grow or is less of something, and then we die. And then we start over again, doing something different. But I'm not worried about the Trump campaign no more. I got my money back, what money I could, because I switched banks around, and now I'm getting taxed for, yeah, like I said, for college right after I gave the government a dire warning about Bernie Sanders. I have no beef with Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders is not on my mind. Like, seriously. I said what I had to say. I was hurt, Bernie Sanders. Let me be honest with you. I was hurt. You came to Baltimore, called our city a third world country, and then you left. You promoted yourself and you forgot about us. That's not what I want your image to look like, to forget about my race. It's a war zone. It's terrible out there, zombie filled. Like, I'll try to talk about it on my show tonight, or what I would do. The reason why I didn't get on here like yesterday night was because I needed time to think about how I'm gonna do the after hour show. So that's what's going to happen. So, ending, Veterans Affairs should put veterans into better housing. And I'm not mad about me misspelling my words, because you know what? Me misspelling my words show that this is my signature. I want to get it right, but this is my signature. It shows that I put my work into my craft. And but next time I'm gonna figure out a way where I'm getting solid from top to bottom. I don't confuse myself because I know what I'm trying to say, but sometimes I misspell words, but at least I'm not always depending on grok. So the Veterans Affairs should put veterans into better housing and have more money in their pockets. I believe that Veterans Affairs should be paying at least $500 more to veterans. Have more housing for veterans that's not in poverty and mixed amongst the general population of public housing. Y'all shouldn't have to have a voucher to pay for housing if you put more money in our pockets. We should have more classes on cryptocurrency and stocks. We should have more certificates and awards for those people in my shoes who go through things like poverty and homelessness and overseas and overcomes poverty and homelessness. Now it's stable. So that is my choice. $500 is good. Hold on. Facebook, is it working? Hold on, y'all. Facebook been idle for like the whole time, and I didn't know I wasn't getting visibility on Facebook, but now I know. It's okay. So I am about to get off of here, and when I get back on here, do my homework. I am going to start the process of doing. Today is the day I start the process of doing the marketing mix. And so yeah, thank you guys for supporting me, and you take care, be safe, and I'll see you later.
Never waste my time, you all I want.